So I've been feeling the need to trim my hair. My hair grows at weird lengths, like different chunks grow faster than others. So time to even it all up. So I figured I would do kind of a little tutorial on how I cut my hair. I've always kind of cut my own hair. Occasionally my mom will help me, or my husband will help me kind of even things up. But for the most part, I cut my own hair. Part of the reason that I've done that is just save time and money. I did get my hair cut professionally once and I didn't love it. So I figure if I'm gonna hate it, I should be able to just blame myself and save a couple bucks. So that's part of the reason. The other reason I cut it at home is I have 5 kids. I just had our 5th daughter a week ago, so I don't really have time to go schedule a hair appointment. So I just kind of do it myself. I am a firm believer that you can learn how to do pretty much anything you want on your own, as long as you don't care if it's done perfectly. There's so many things you can learn how to do for yourself, and that it's kind of fun to be able to just do it by yourself and have that little bit of pride that, hey, I did that. So with hair stuff, I like watching hair YouTube tutorials. I think you can learn pretty much anything off of YouTube. There's different styles, different ways. I mean, you can find what you're looking for on YouTube. One of my favorite channels is Mondo. I really like watching his videos. And I think it's fun to watch the successes and also the failures. There's kind of a mix of both. So there's a lot of different tutorials out there. Find one that fits your hair type and the style you're looking for. It's out there. So for my hair, it's kind of weird, which is the other reason why I like to cut it, because I know my hair. It's really, really thick. I have very thick hair. And it's kind of heavy. So there's a lot of volume with the thickness, but once it gets heavy, if I try and curl it or do a lot of different styles, it just hangs and it's kind of acts dead. So I like to do hairstyles with layers, especially layers around my face. And it just kind of helps with the volume and giving it some body so it's not just hanging. So layers are kind of tricky, especially when your hair is thick, because it can look really choppy really easy. So, and that's kind of what it ended up looking like when I went to the salon the last time, is it was just really choppy and I didn't love it. So I figure as long as your hair is long enough you can pull it into a ponytail, you're great, because then if it looks bad, you can still hide it with a ponytail. So I've had a lot of successes and failures over the years of doing my own hair. And that's just part of the territory. Sometimes you're gonna love it and sometimes you're gonna hate it. But once you kind of figure out your hair and what works for it and what you're trying to accomplish with it, you can kind of go from there. So this is a hairstyle I've been doing for a while, and it works, so I keep doing it. So first off, where my hair is really thick and everything, I like to either have it wet when I cut it or I straighten it sometimes, depending on how I'm feeling, just so it all kind of lays the right way. So once it's all brushed out and parted the way that you want, you can do kind of pretty much any part with this one. I don't like a middle part on me. And in high school, I had a super deep side part and both were kind of not great. So I do just kind of an off center part and I kind of angle it back towards the middle. So part it how you want, make sure it's all flattened out and smooth and laying the right way. And then you're going to find the apex of your head, technical terms. And you do that, it's the highest point on your head. So you do that kind of holding your head naturally and then getting a flat surface, and it's just kind of wherever it hits on that. So the apex of mine is about right here. So then you're going to go from your part at the apex down to just below or behind your ears. Separate that out. And then I'm going to clip this part back, and then just gonna do the same thing on this side to just behind my ear. Untuck that and pull it forward, and then pull this. So this is where I do the majority of my layers. You can kind of see from the last times. Just gonna kind of pull this side back and focus on this side first. So the first thing that you're gonna do is take just a small little chunk out of the middle and kind of have that be, this is gonna be your shortest chunk. So have that be your guide of where you want it. So I like to do mine about chin length for this smallest piece, because my hair, when it dries, it kind of poofs up because it tries to do volume, and it does a lot of volume right there. And so if I cut it too short, it'll just scrunch up to the top, and that doesn't look good. So this will be the shortest layer and where you want it. So I'm gonna do it about chin level and just kind of snip that off. And I like to go, anytime I make a cut, kind of at an angle so that it's not just choppy, straight across. And then what you do is from your part, you go at an angle so that you have kind of a triangle. Make that a little bit smoother of a triangle. And you just go in sections all through that. And then you pull it straight across your face. So you smooth it out and pull it straight across like that. And then now I grabbed some other layers. So then you find where your marker one was, pulling straight across, so it's kind of like a parallel to that. You go to where your other is, and then you just kind of snip along that line. And then you just keep doing that. You grab the next section, go down at the same angle. My hair is thick enough, I have to do a whole bunch of sections, so you might not have to. But this is what I have to do to make it work. So brush that down, have it still be that parallel. Till it gets, so I haven't done the super big face trimming for a while, so it's a lot of hair. But same angle and lots of hair. Okay, and another one. So soft. It kind of just has some like nice little subtle layers through there. Okay, and then when you're onto your other side, have that be brushed out now, and you just take that center piece that's your shortest and kind of take the same, looks like I already have cut my bangs a lot, so it looks like they're already kind of about at that same spot. And the shortest Looks like I might just take a little tiny bit off the end. And then you just do the same thing on the other side. Tuck that behind for now. You do your diagonal. Oops. Now, tuck that. Pull it across, parallel to that diagonal, and find your marker and trim. Okay, so you can see that just kind of subtle little layers on both sides. And there we go. Looks like it is a little bit longer on one side than the other. So about right there. So I'm going to kind of chop off a little bit more on that side just to make it a little bit more even. Sometimes that happens with mine because it's so thick. The last little bit gets a little bit extra. That's why it's important to not cut huge chunks at once. And if you have to go ahead and even it, you're not like, oh, it's so short. So that looks a little bit more even. A little tiny bit still. Okay. Happy with that. Like I said, my hair scrunches up in different directions, so looks like that side is still a little bit bigger, but it should kind of blend in with the rest of it. Okay, so once you have the face framing layers done, I have the back that I'm bringing out to kind of match that. The back of your hair is tricky because you can't see it. No way around that. So this is how I kind of like to do it. This is where the layers end, and so I just want to not cut like huge amount off, but kind of make that so it blends in together. And so the way that I like to do it is I go down. So once my hair is kind of at the apex of my head, I just do a middle part from the back. And so once it's down in the middle and you all separate it onto both sides, then I'm gonna brush this out to where this layer is the longest and kind of go like that. And then this hair, the hair in the back, I cut it at an opposite angle kind of from what it looks like from this other way. So you would think that you would cut it at an angle like this, but if you cut it at an angle like this, the way I have my hair pulled forward, the longest piece is in the center of my head, and it's right here. So if you cut it like this, at this kind of an angle, then it's going to be a really steep V, which is fine if that's what you're going for, but I don't like to have like the V in the back. I like to have it a little bit more even. So what I actually do is kind of go at an angle like this, because then the longest part that's being pulled forward the farthest is kind of, it's right here. And so if you go like this and cut it, then it will be more level in the back. Like, haircutting is all about angles, and you just kind of have to figure out which angles work for you. So I go to where it's the longest of that, and then I kind of cut like that. Make sure this whole thing is tight. And then I'm gonna go kind of right there. See, it's already kind of at that angle, so I just am repeating that angle, making it shorter when I cut it this time. So, angle, got my angle there, and just cutting all of this off. And again, kind of feather cutting, because if you just chop it like that, then it's really blunt, and I don't like that. It also hides a little bit more if it's not super even if you do it like this feather cutting. Ow! Got myself a little bit. So that looks about right, and that blends in a lot better. I'm not gonna have layers in the back when you do it this way. It just kind of makes it more even. And then to make sure that the other side is even, I'm going to take a chunk from this side, and move it to over here, and that's going to be my guide. And then do the same thing so that it can match up with the guide and then also the layers on this side. And I can also see it right here. Just so there's my guide. That looks about right there too. Okay. See, I was a lot longer on this side. My hair grows at weird lengths, or at different lengths. So go like that. Make sure I've got the angle, and then and then I can kind of feel if there's a little piece that's not quite even. Kind of feel if it feels like they're the same. I think I might cut a little bit more right there. like I end up cutting myself a little bit. Whoops. So you know your scissors are sharp enough. Okay. So that feels pretty much level. And I'm gonna blow dry it out. Show what it looks like. So this is the final look. Like I said, lots of layers around your face. And is it perfect? Of course not. But I'm happy with it. I like the way it turns out, and I'm gonna keep cutting my hair from home. It's fairly quick, fairly easy once you get the hang of it, and I can get the whole thing done while this one naps. So, which is even more of a perk for me. So yeah. Oh, that's a big yawn. So yeah, not too bad. Fairly straightforward. So don't be afraid to try cutting your hair at home. Just take your time. Do it short, and you can cut more if you need to. But it's really not that hard, and just give it a try. Hair grows, worst case scenario. But yeah, thanks for watching.